Welcome back to Dynasty Football Maniacs. All right, we're in week 3. Whew, the injuries are still pouring. Uh, some players that you thought would never play can play. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Jordan Love ain't back. Malik Willis doing fine. Will Levis, I think we might need to put a period on that and move on. Um,
Mhm.
Caleb Williams is still up for discussion. Bryce Young could possibly recover. Andy Dalton still could sling the ball, but how many games? That's the question. He ain't going to sling it like that every time, but it's nice to see a veteran get back in there and just show you that he can dominate with whatever you give him. So definitely enjoyed this week's of football. If I'm not mistaken, I only got a piece of it, and maybe Austin can help me. But did Miami lose their backup quarterback too?
Yeah, I believe they're on their third string now.
Okay. So bless them. That's what they say in Alabama. Um
hmm
uh Yeah, wow. All right, so let's start down real quick breakdown for week 3. I'm gonna tell you it's so the top tier from what we had last week's scoring to this week's scoring is kind of changed a little bit, but not tremendous. I mean, it's still people still holding the same position, but some players come up and other players went down. And I meant to bring the other list up so I could have them side by side, and I did not do that. It's opening up right now. I apologize. But while we're doing that, let's talk about the first game. There it goes. Oh, no, it opened up. So last week I did a rundown of the top fantasy scorers for week 2, and we're going into week 3. And last week our number one person was Alvin Kamara. Well, guess what? He's number 2 this week. Someone passed him. And we all know who passed him. It's another running back that we mentioned last week that was ranked 4th, and now he's number 1 overall scoring in fantasy football for PPR, and that's Barkley. Quarterbacks kind of flipped the switch. Some of these quarterbacks that were lagging kind of caught back up with Baker Mayfield. Didn't drop Baker Mayfield out of the top 10, but we added a few quarterbacks to the top 10. We added Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, quarterbacks I expected to see in the top 10. Maybe not Jaden Daniels so soon, but hey, if he made it, great. Baker's still up there. Actually, he is number 16 now. So he went from wow. Yeah, he went from rank 6 to 16. He dropped down a little bit on point scoring.
Hmm.
Still up there pretty high because you got to think about it. I mean, overall, when I rank this out, this is defense and offense, total PPR. We're going to see a big fluctuation. This is only week 3. I mean, some of these players we're talking about can end up having injuries and disappear off the list. I think the shockers that are up here right now is Juan Jennings from San Francisco. Where did he come from? What happened? Why ain't Brandon Ayuk up here? Um, Malik Neighbors, right? 5th. I knew he was going to have a good season. Kind of started off slow, but now he's rocking with the Giants. Um, I don't think the NFL's given Aiden Hutchinson enough respect. He should have been all defensive player this week. He should have been all defensive player last week. The man is turning over PPR points. I mean, for fantasy, I mean, it's crazy. He's still in the top 10. He's 6 now. Last week, he was the highest ranked defensive player. He was number 3 overall, but I knew some of these quarterbacks would jump ahead of him, like Josh Allen. Well, Malik Neighbors is actually tied with Lamar Jackson for the same amount of points. So
Hmm.
there's a little swap up. Justin Jefferson finally brought himself up. I mean, last week he was at 24. He's in the top 20 this week. Nico Collins still holding his own. James Cook is doing very impressive. Brees Hall dropped 12. Karen Williams finally starting to get a little bit of running game in the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, I honestly thought he was going to fall off. Got shocked on that. I'm sorry I'm so mean sometimes. But sometimes honesty doesn't hurt. I mean, what is Philadelphia going to do? They've done lost their entire offensive group. I mean, they've lost Devontae Smith now. AJ Brown's out. I'm trying to think of anybody else receiving the ball over there in Philadelphia other than Barkley.
Well, Dallas Goddard.
Well, yeah, Dallas Carter's there. I mean, but
Yeah.
he was in and out. But
Did
I
you
mean,
see, did you see the game he had last week?
yeah,
I mean, that just shows that you were missing both of your top wide receivers.
yes, it does. It does. It shows that you are missing it. I mean, and then I guess that's why we see Barkley jump up there to number one. Well, before Devontae Smith went out due to this week, before his injury, I mean, it helped his points. It shot him up to being in the top 30 for fantasy points. He'll probably fall off. I'm sure he's going to, because he's in concussion protocol now. So that means he'll
So,
miss the game. So
so
if,
I got a question, and I want you to take a guess on this. Who finished? Because tight ends this year. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but it's been quite awful. But who do you think finished as the tight end one this week? This past week?
Komet,
Nope.
no, I was
Mm-mm.
guessing. I didn't look it up. So
It's Dallas Goddard.
Dallas Goddard. Okay.
And that's the number one tight end last week. Now, overall, who do you think is the number one tight end so far this season?
Sam Laporta.
No,
No.
it's Dallas Goddard.
Uh, I got it both wrong. Let's see here. Let's look up Dallas Goddard. We're talking. So
Look, dude, I am telling you, he had one amazing game last week.
let's go in here. And see, the first thing they do is when you bring up these rankings, the first thing you always see is ADP. I'm like, why? Uh,
ADP draft season's over with.
yeah, I know. Who cares about ADP? What ranking he should be? So you're saying Dallas Goddard. Let's see here. Tight end, stats, targets, fantasy points. In the standard, we need to be in PPR, which shouldn't really matter. And we'll drop that down right there. Open that up. And let's see what happens here. So did I do average by accident? Oh no, I didn't. I have to say I hate when I do that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like because sometimes you got to watch me. Sometimes I'll give you half PPR. You're like, what? Largest. Oh, yes, you are right. So top scorer so far this year is Dallas Goddard. Right behind him is Brock Bowers. And Komet, he got most of all his points this week. Prior to that, he was burning bad.
So
Um,
so did so did Dallas Goddard because week one it was a pretty decent week. He finished as tight end 12. Well, then week two he dipped down to tight end 16, and then now you lose both of your star wide receivers, and now look, you get a number one tight end.
yeah. So yeah, he's definitely rocking it out. So let's do this here. But okay, there we go. Whew, I knew there was a way to sort it on this, and I couldn't figure it out, and I just did it. Yeah. So yeah, looking at Dallas Goddard. I mean, yeah, week one. I mean, he pulled in 7 points for fantasy, and then week two, 6 points, and then this week he like rocked it in 86% snap. He had just slightly a little bit more percentage of snaps than he did week one, but he
Mhm.
scored 29 points. He had 11 targets, 10 receptions, 170 yards. Uh, yeah, no touchdowns. Wow. I mean, he
Yeah,
had a
he did that.
touchdown.
He did that with no touchdowns.
I know. I mean, that's impressive right there. I mean, that is, and yeah, you look at his previous season, he always has like two banged out games. And I think in this case scenario, we know Devontae Smith's going to be out another game. AJ Brown is still questionable. So that tells me going into week 4, if you have Dallas Goddard, you need to play him.
Well,
Because he's going to probably have a pretty good reception.
well, let me ask you this: in the Dynasty League, would you take this opportunity and cash out on him after this big game he had?
No, I probably wouldn't if he was my tight end because tight ends are so hard to come by. I mean,
Okay.
Adam,
Well, let me
he
ask
would
you
probably
this
be
then:
my.
what if, what if you drafted like, what if you had Brock Bowers or Dalton Kincaid? Would you do it
I
then?
would trade him away. I would keep Dalton Kincaid and Brock Bowers over him.
Okay.
I mean, Brock Bowers, fresh in the league, just like Sam Laporta. I mean, his first week he had 11 points fantasy. Second week 18. No, this week against Carolina only 7. They kind of struggled. Had some quarterback issues, offensive line issues for the Raiders. But overall, he's been the dominant threat of that team. Comet, all season, he struggled, not because he struggled as a player, he struggled because who the quarterback was. And Caleb Williams found a little bit of feet underneath his. How do I say that? I about said that really messed up, and people are going to say, well, what did he just say?
He
Okay,
found,
Caleb Williams finally found something to step on and throw the ball.
or you
Actually
could have,
makes him.
or you could have went. He finally found his footing.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. He's trying to find. He finally. His feet. Well, there's his feet everywhere. He finally found his footing. There you go. And that's a fluke. I'm gonna tell you right now, watching it, I just don't have a lot. I would not put my money in him. Just that. I mean, yeah, that's another
Unless you
story.
drafted him, then you have no choice.
Yeah, then you just wasted your draft pick. Isaiah Likely still up at the top. The only reason he's still up at the top is because of that first game. So I thought
Mhm.
for sure that they were going to ride with him and go like the distance. And since then, I mean, last game against Dallas, he put up 1 point. I mean, that was a Derrick Henry show. I think Baltimore figured out Derrick Henry and said, all right, we can run him now. I mean, before I think they were struggling to figure out how to run him with Lamar. Now they figured it out. So
It's quite simple. You just hand him the ball off, and he just
I
does
honestly
the
thought
work.
when they talked about it in the first 2 games, I thought the same thing. But maybe there's more to the just handing the ball off to him. I didn't understand it yet.
Well, maybe because the quarterback likes to keep it and run it. I guess I'm not sure.
Uh, and let's talk about Sam Arnold. Wow. Not expecting all that. But just a quick recap. I know we kind of jumped all over the place starting off about scores and points, but last week the Patriots, Jets pulled out a win on a Thursday night. Looked pretty decent. Um, Eagles, Saints. Eagles won by a miracle, and that's mean to say, but it was a tight game. The Saints were a little bit off step. Um, the Giants, the only thing good there was Malik Neighbors. I mean, the catches that Malik Neighbors was still catching were bad throws. I mean, Daniel Jones is not the future. Um,
He never was.
no. Green Bay Packers and Titans. As I said earlier, Jordan Love will be coming back soon, and I don't think we're going to see his step being missed. And Malik
But
Willis, what a great revenge game you had against the Titans for letting you go. And look at what they brought in, the guy that cannot hold the ball. This is why they threw you out, is because you turned the ball over every game. Well, they got another guy down there that likes to turn over the ball. So I honestly think it maybe not the person or the player, could be the scheme and the coaching. But who am I to judge? Um,
plenty.
the Bears and the Colts. I had faith in the Colts who were going to win it. The Colts won it. 2 inexperienced quarterbacks, but at the end of the day, Caleb, you're going to come along. You're going to do your thing, and maybe you will be successful. I'm not a big fan. Anthony Richardson, on the other hand, I think you're going to be great. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. Just keep improving like you're doing. And Jonathan Taylor, I'm glad you're finally back kind of doing what you need to be doing. I mean, that's some great playing right there. 110 yards, 23 carries, 2 touchdowns. And let's not knock the rookie from the Bears, Roma Tuesday. Okay, he was catching catches that were just like, okay, you're a wide receiver. Caleb Williams is, yeah, he's a quarterback. But that's a wide receiver, wide receiver. So 6 receptions, 112 yards, and 1 touchdown. You are the man. I don't know if that was right or wrong, but I like it. Texans, all right. Not everybody's going to have a dream game. Let's just face it. I mean, yeah, CJ Stroud's doing great, and he's going to continue to do great, but he is also going to have his down days. Everybody has their down days. The
The
thing
defense
is,
was impressive for the
yes,
Vikings.
yes, the Vikings offense and defense. Okay. I'm like, wow. I mean, but there's still some questions about the offense. I mean, there was questionable plays that Sam Arnold did. It still turned out successful. But at the end of the day, Aaron Jones came back as Aaron Jones. Um, who's Naylor again? And why is he getting the ball? 3rd touchdown already?
Oh,
I need to draft this guy because I sometimes need wide receivers. And hey, he's a mystery guy. And we're going to talk about another mystery coming up in San Francisco. Stephon Diggs is Stephon Diggs. He was the best wide receiver out there that day. 10 receptions, 94 yards, but Nico Collins did good too. So at the end of the day, they just that
yeah,
whole CJ Stroud makes that team.
yeah, they were trying to force a touchdown to Nicole.
Yeah,
I guess he must have an incentive or something where he had to get so many touchdowns or something.
yeah. I think now we're in week 3. I think we can honestly believe it's final. And I know Pittsburgh's kind of hinted that it's final, but they haven't. So Justin Fields, no, he's not the extraordinary guy, but he's playing the scheme that Mike Tomlin's coaching, and this is a coach's game. This is Pittsburgh football. If you know Pittsburgh's history, it is defense and just scrubbing by with points. And what a scheme. He's doing it. And it's scary because they're 3-0. And honestly, a lot of people don't believe it, but when you look at the big picture and you look at the way they're playing ball, they could take a run for it. I mean, I know it's only week 3, and maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Maybe I need to dial it back, but I'm saying it's looking pretty good.
I think they'll get to the playoffs due to the fact that it's Mike Tomlin, but
Yeah.
I
And
don't.
what did he do to Najee Harris? What did he finally say? If you don't start running the ball, I'm going to kick you off the team.
Well, I mean,
Finally, I'm starting to see some like
well, I
gushes there.
mean, they never accepted his 5th-year option, so they technically yes.
Yeah. So now he's going to run the ball.
Yeah, basically.
I would too. Broncos and Buccaneers. Bo Nix finally had somewhat of a day, and on the other hand, our Baker Mayfield kind of slipped and slid away. I mean, like I said, not every day is going to be a perfect day, and that was not a perfect day for the Buccaneers. They were trying to pull some things together. Defense looked a little wobbly. Offense wobbly too. So when you got 2 wobblies, guess what you got? You got a losing team. Broncos pulled it off.
Great analogy. I love
So
it.
let's go to the Panthers and the Raiders. Woo! I say someone was on fire. Yes, he was a redhead. It wasn't you.
Oh, I mean, I kind of was on fire.
I know. No, that was Andy Dalton, man. He lit it up, and I mean, lit it up good. And I think it's a good coaching moment for a young rookie on that team. I know a lot of people bashing him. Sometimes people are put in situations they don't know how to deal with. And college is so different than the NFL. And there has been players that excelled so well in the NFL in college, won Heisman trophies and done great and thought we're going to be the greatest in the NFL. And they get to the NFL and it's a whole different scheme. It's a whole different way of playing. And some don't. I'm not saying it's the end of Bryce Young. He still has hope. And I know what they're doing there. They brought in a veteran quarterback, Andy Dalton. This guy's going to work. Guess who else worked behind Andy Dalton at one time in his career? And it's Sam Arnold. Look at him. Don't count the guy out yet. Let's see what happens. And he might not be with the Panthers at the end of the day. That the rumors could be true. But I say let's not count him out. I've seen him play at Alabama. Yes, he's a good quarterback when he was in college. Still needs some coaching. It's not really the team. There is
I
some
think
quarterback issues, and I think once the schemes pull together, it's going to be different.
I think a lot has to do with it with ownership. I mean that the Panthers and the Cowboys are just awful when it comes to that. And because look at Sam Darnold, he leaves the Panthers and now he's just going out there and leading to a undefeated Vikings team. And then
Right.
look at Baker Mayfield. I mean, Baker Mayfield was there, and then he went to the Rams for that emergency time for a little bit. And then he went to the Buccaneers last year, got them to the playoffs, and then signed a long extension to be with them. So I mean, honestly, I, I mean, I could get proven wrong by if Andy Dalton takes the Panthers at least winning 7 games this year. But as of right now, I really think it's the organization. And yes, Bryce Dude needs to improve. Don't get me wrong, he does need to improve, but at the same time, just look at them main two one shot there, and it's kind of like evidence right there, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And that goes to you talked about the emergency situation they had at the Rams with Stanford. I think there's another emergency, and if they ain't fired the alarm off yet, let me do it for you, Miami. Go get you somebody. Go get you somebody now. Find something. Okay. Your offense. Oh my. Tua's gone. We know that. He's out. Hopefully whatever happens with Tua happens with Tua. I'm gonna say on a fantasy side of the note, you're looking at the biggest idiot sit in front of the camera on a running back. I have Charbonnet on 2 of my teams, and guess what? For the last 2 weeks, guess where I had him? On the bench. What is wrong with me? Let me wake up today and guess I'm gonna play him this week, and this is the week he probably won't score. So I'm gonna just leave it
Well,
at that.
well, that's probably because Kenneth Walker comes back.
That's what I figured. So I done lost my chance of getting some big points. Seahawks, wow. That's another one that's going to be running for it. Geno Smith doing a great season. This week, last week was JSN. Let's go ahead and give Metcalf the love this week. And then, like I said, Charbonnet last 2 weeks off the hinges for running back. I mean, passing and receiving. And then let's go to the Ravens and the Cowboys. All right, don't throw in the towel for either one of these teams. 1 and 2 doesn't mean nothing. It is the third week of the NFL season. It is not college. You can have 3 losses at the beginning of the season and turn your whole schedule around. Both of these teams are well built to run the table. They're just having their moments. And I'd rather see them have their moments at the beginning of the season than have it at the end of the season. Because at the end of the season, you want to be hot. You want to be on top of things. You want to be winning. So let them have these little hiccups they're having. And what a comeback Cowboys did. I mean, I got pretty intense. I almost fell off well, I actually did fall off my chair. That might have been because of the drinking. I don't know. But it was exciting to watch them come back up. It was 25-28, and it ended. It was like, oh wow. It was kind of like me on my first date. I'm not going to go any further than that. Woo, you're there and gone. Uh,
I, I don't believe you.
so
Uh,
Derrick Henry, what a game. I mean, 25 carries, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. My God. And Ferguson, yes, you're my tight end in one of my leagues, and you did me very well. I like that. Uh, Prescott, I don't have you on any league anymore because I gave up on you a year ago. I want to say 2, but it's only been a year. I gave up on you. And I don't really like to tell people that, but I do. I tell them I finally gave up on you. And Lamar, I've really never had anything for you. So, I mean, that's probably my
Lamar,
mistake.
yeah, it kind of is because he's
I
doing
know.
great.
I know. I liked you in college, Lamar. I like you as a player. I root you on, but don't really draft you that often. I'm sorry. We're walking into the 49ers and the Rams. The Rams pulled off a victory, come back from a deficit. Another great game. Brock Purdy, I thought was doing pretty good. Juan Jennings, okay. Where's the rest of the receiving core? You're supposed to have Samuel and are you or Samuel out? I
He
mean,
was hurt.
yeah, he was hurt, but are you very silent? I don't know what to do. And I drafted you in one of my leagues, so I know how silent you've been. Um, it's very hurtful, and I'm actually tempted to pull this guy off the waiver wire and put him in your place. And when I do that, that's when you're going to come out and shine, and that's where I'm going to lose my next game. So,
Probably.
yeah, the Lions and the Cardinals. I see chemistry finally hitting with Kyle Murray and Marvin Harris. Not so much, a little bit more. It's getting there. They're looking all right. I mean, he scored 13 points. Lions scored 20. Lions also had a pretty cool play in there. I mean, what was it between St. Brown and Jamar Gibbs? Was that the shuttle pass? One of them guys
Yeah.
did a shuttle pass. It was
It
pretty.
was,
If you watch that shuttle pass or whatever you
it's,
call it, that was pretty cool.
it's called the hook and ladder.
Yes. So I liked it. It was impressive how that all pulled off. Yep, they won their game. Second half of the game, I was snoring. Yeah, field goal was the only thing that happened. Uh, It was all happen. It was all like it's like when you first show up, it all happens in the first 15 minutes and then it's ended. See, I don't know what else to say about that. Chiefs. Okay, figured
15
you would.
minutes.
50. I'm lucky if it's 1 minute. All my excitement's in the first. Yeah, whatever. Chiefs and Falcon. Okay, Chiefs. Chiefs are the Chiefs. So like, yeah, I'm burned out on the
Boy,
Chiefs.
those refs do love them.
Yeah, they do love them, but I mean, they're also a good team. We can't knock them. I mean, they got a pretty good defense. I
Yeah, they
mean,
all. Yeah, the
and I
defense
think,
call the
I think,
refs.
I believe what they done with Isaiah Pacheco out is pretty interesting. I mean, they took their fullback, made him a running back, Carson Steele. Carson Steele, 17 carries, 72 yards, pretty impressive. Then you got P. Ryan right there, kind of hammering out some runs, and then he's what 235 pounds. He can catch downfield. He can run that ball. I mean, Rashi Rice doing what Rashi Rice did last year. It's nothing new. Kirk Cousin, pretty good percentage. I mean, 29 and 20. I mean, 230 yards, one touchdown. I think he's coming from his injury. So he's still a step off. I think once he's recovered 100%, we'll see the Kirk Cousin from the Vikings soon. I think it's coming. And he has a wide
I
receiver
don't
core
know.
there.
He's looking pretty good already to me.
I know he's
I think he'll
looking good,
just
and
look
I think
better.
I think he's going to be more polished. That's my honest opinion, and my voice is getting dry. And then I'm trying to run through these because we got so much else to talk about. Commanders and Bengals. Okay. Wow, both sides of the team. Um, Another guy I have sitting on my bench, Chase Brown. Something's wrong. Second week he's blew up. Second week I've had him on the bench. I started him this week for week 4. Uh, he's probably not going to get any carries or do anything for me.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, but then it's like Joe Burrow. He always starts off slow and then he starts. This is getting to the point where we see Joe Burrow start kicking gears. Kind of seen it in the game, but not in the game. Jaden Daniels, he played, he balled, he did good. I mean, I was actually impressed with that whole thing. And then the next game is the next game. I mean, what do you say? It's the Buffalo Bills against the Jaguars. I mean, if you expected anything less than that, Bills they took them out. I mean, it's 2 Monday night games. Wow. So this week was pretty interesting. I mean, now we got to go into the next week. And the next week we got to do our pickups. So let me pull that up because we do that in the ESPN league, right? Or is that in the sleeper league?
Well, I know I do it for both.
No, the one that you and me are competing in.
I thought we were competing in both, but yeah, that's the sleeper.
Sleeper League.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're doing the ESPN one for college, which we'll go over that in a minute.
Well, heck, I'm doing the ESPN one for the NFL too. I've
Oh
been on
well,
it.
you've been on it and I've been off of it. All right, let's see here. If I could figure out how to work my phone right, I got to get to my pickems, not my fantasy. This week, hey, let me tell you guys, last week I dominated. Week 2, only had one team lose out of my 11 fantasy football teams. That's pretty impressive.
So what about week 3?
Week 3, I think I had 2 losses. I'd have to look back. 2 or 3 losses is all I had. The rest of them pretty much dominated. All right, here we go. Week 4, current week. Woo-wee, toughies here. Let me start with the toughest one on Thursday night. Dallas versus New York. Okay, I'm going with Dallas. Point spread is 5, taking Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you pick first for the next one.
Oh, really?
Saints versus Atlanta. Who do you think's gonna get it? It's a 1.5 point spread.
I been going back and forth on this one, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the Saints. I think they bounce back
I'm gonna
because
go. I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
I just think they're gonna bounce back because that defense is too good.
That is true, but I'm still gonna go with Atlanta. Bengals, Carolina. I'm taking the Bengals over Carolina. I don't see. I
Even
think
even with Andy Dalton.
even with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton had a great game, yes, but I don't think we're going to see it in the next week.
Hmm.
Um, the Rams versus Chicago. I believe the Rams are going to continue to move. Stafford's still going to magically move that ball around to all what wide receivers he has.
Mm,
Now, the
yeah.
most interesting matchup is hard for me to even talk about, so I'm going to let you decide. Minnesota against Green Bay. I
Um,
am so torn for this game.
I'm I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
I was Minnesota too.
I just think they're playing too good right now.
Does Jordan Love come back yet? Or I know he's still
He was
questionable, but
trying to practice. He practiced a little bit last week, but they still didn't put him in. So it could be a possibility he actually shows up for this game.
mm. Now the next game is actually tough too because I honestly feel like it would be an upset. And the reason why I say that, it always happens.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars against Houston. I want to say Houston's going to win that, but I just have this bad feeling that Jacksonville might pull it off.
Nah, they look too damn bad to me. I think they're Houston's gonna keep it going.
All right. So we're going to tough teams, and I hate to do it to Indianapolis. I think you're doing great. I think Anthony Richardson's great. I'm gonna just tell you right now, what Mike Tomlin's doing is what Mike Tomlin's doing, and I don't think you guys are going to beat them this week. I think the Steelers are going to handle their business, and I think they're going to handle it very well. So I am picking the
Alright.
Steelers over in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's what I did that too.
And Aaron Rodgers, you showed some magic this past week. I seen some of them nice little passes you threw. I was excited to see him back a little bit, even though I'm kind of like, oh my God, we're still here with Aaron Rodgers. But I'm going to go with the Jets over Denver.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I went with the Jets. It was a pretty impressive showing last week, but I think the Jets are going to take care of it.
And I hate to be such a bum rush on a team that I'm supposed to like, but I am. I think Tampa Bay redeems themselves this week and they take out the Eagles.
Oh, I actually have the Eagles winning this.
Mm, you have a little bit more faith. Washington over Arizona.
Well,
Mm,
when you throw it to a tight end that ran over 170 yards,
Yeah, but they got tight ends there that can run that far too. Trade McBride. Uh,
and with Arizona, yeah,
yeah.
but not with Tampa. No.
Oh no, no, with Tampa. I'm sorry, I got two Tampa. Okay, I'm looking already at Washington and Arizona.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so let me look at this. I am gonna go.
I already done picked on who I'm going with.
I am going with Washington Commanders.
Well, everybody has their right to have their own opinion.
No,
So
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I ain't gonna go with Washington. I can't do it. At the end of the day, on the paper, says Arizona will win this hands down.
well, I mean, the Washington's defense secondary is the worst in the NFL right now. So
Yeah, and the way Kyle Murray throws the ball, I just don't see it happening.
hmm.
And I am going to definitely be tuned in on that game on Fox there. Let's see. Or if not Fox, I'll have to watch it another way if it's not here because I got to see what game is going to be shown here on Fox at that time. There's a lot of games shown at 3. Patriots and San Francisco. Um, oh, San Francisco. They got to have something to come out of this. They can't keep losing. Uh, Cleveland, Las Vegas. I don't think Gardner Minshew is going to start. I think it's going to be Aiden O'Connell, and I think they're going to win this game against Cleveland.
I went with Raiders.
Yeah, so I got the Raiders too. All right, now this is a toughie, or maybe it's not a toughie. Kansas City against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Not when you have the refs on your side.
I'm going with the Los Angeles Chargers because if you got anybody that could pull it off, it'd be a hard ball. Uh,
I'm no, I'm going with the Chiefs.
all right, you keep your little Chiefs.
Yeah, yeah, they got the refs. They're unstoppable.
This is going to be a tough game. Buffalo against Baltimore. Two powerhouses. Uh, I honestly think Baltimore will overcome them because it's a season game. So I think Baltimore will get the win, but I also think Baltimore will fall to them in the playoffs. So that's why I'm saying they're going to get the win in the season.
I think Buffalo. I take Buffalo.
Take Buffalo.
Hmm.
Tennessee Titans in Miami. I felt like I just squealed tires and smacked a chalkboard.
Ah, I'm gonna have to go. I'm going with the Titans. That quarterback situation for Miami is awful.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Titans. I think this is the only time a week, unless he just like throws interceptions that end up being pick sixes all through the game. Um, Seattle against Detroit, both good teams, but I think Seattle will hold their own and take it all the way.
I got Detroit.
So total points for that. What do you think?
Hmm. I am. You know what? I am gonna go with 41.
We'll go with 56.
Oh, you got a high scoring game.
Just think it's going to be interesting. So that's our pick'ems for the NFL. So as I was saying, right now, if you've been sitting Comet, it's time to put them back in. If you've been sitting Dallas Goddard, you should have been playing him in the first place, no matter if he was doing bad or not. He's tight end. Um, you need to play him. Juan Jennings is probably your best pickup off the waiver right now. I don't know how long this magic is going to happen, and it might be the end of the magic. I mean, tomorrow we might never see this guy's name again, but I say pick him up
I will see it a
and
lot.
do if you have Aiden Hutchinson, keep him. And I want to ask you a trade question right now. What would you give? What would you take if you had Gardner Minshew? What would you take in a trade for him? Would you take a round 3 future draft pick?
No,
Is he worth more than that?
Gardner Minshew. No,
Yeah. Oh, so if someone offered you a round 3 for your Gardner Minshew, you wouldn't trade him.
Now, if someone offered me that, sure, yeah, I'd give away Gardner Minshew. But
You didn't think he was going to hold off and be that guy, did you?
no, I never did.
I kind of felt like he could probably pull it off. The way he played for the Colts last year, I thought maybe this was his shot.
I would
But then
definitely,
now,
I'd definitely trade him to somebody who's still optimistic about it.
yeah, I might need to get rid of that man. I was just curious what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I would definitely capitalize because next year, I highly would doubt we see him with the Raiders.
Mm, wow, that is probably true. So my mouse just gave out on me. I was trying to do something here. So before we move on to college, I just want to read. I want to at least give you guys the top 20, and you're going to see it on the screen. Barkley's one, Alvin Kamara's two, both running backs. The next two is 3 and 4 is Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels. Your fifth top scorer is Malik Neighbors, tied with Lamar Jackson. 6 is Aiden Hutchins. He's a defensive player that's in the top 10. He was in the top 10 last week. Uh, right behind him is your first wide receiver, or second wide receiver, another young rookie, Rashid Rice, Kansas City. Uh, wow, Chris Godwin, still in the top 10. He's 8. And Juan Jennings, a miracle, he's in the 9. And that's going to probably change when Samuel gets back and Ayuk starts clicking. We probably will see less of Juan Jennings, but you might not. You never know because once a quarterback focuses on a wide receiver and they're connecting, and that's their connection that can continue too. So if you picked him up on your waiver wire, you already got him. I would hold on to him and kind of play out the season. He's a young guy. It looks promising. Devon A Chain. That is what Miami has. That's all Miami has at this moment in time. Um, yes, they got Tyreek Hill. Yes, they got all these other wide receivers. But if you don't have a quarterback throwing to them, I don't know if that's going to be the magic you're looking for. Kieran Williams. I need to dig into why he's in the top 11. So,
Because he had a really good game this past week.
yes, he did. So let's just take a look at his season progress. So, week 1, he had a pretty decent season. Oh, okay. So yeah, still he's still doing pretty good for the Rams. I mean, he
Yeah.
ain't really fell off.
No, he's just not as much to talk about.
Right. Not like last year. I mean, he had the first game 14-4, next game 15-20, and then now he's 31-60. I mean, yeah,
Right.
that's pretty good for a running back. So yeah, he deserves to be 11. Brees
Right.
Hall's number 12. 13 right behind him is another running back, James Cook. And let's talk about the surprise that no one thought was going to happen. I didn't think was happening. Number 14, Sam Darnold. Then right behind him, guess who's right behind him? You would never even guess. His wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. So he has 59.8. Justin Jefferson has 58.3. Wow. And then right behind them is the Baker Mayfield that I brag about, which I said he would finish in the top 20 and still in the top 20. And right behind him is you got the next defensive player and a quarterback tied, Kyle Murray and Zach Bond for Philadelphia. And that is the least likely defensive player I thought would do any good, but he's been doing really great. Uh, where's our Jalen Carter? Where's, I mean, there was
Jalen
talk. Oh, Zach Bond. I mean, I got to look him up. I got to figure out. Oh,
who? Yeah, he's
IDP.
pretty good.
Yeah, he's doing really good. I mean, he's got it up there. And then right behind that, I'm going to 20. You got Nico Collins, Houston, wide receiver. And then 19's tied with a defense player and a running back. You got Robert Spillman for Las Vegas. And then your running back, Derrick Henry, King Henry. And let me tell you right now who number 20 is. And the drum beat is going. Dak Prescott, number 20. All right, Dak. Uncle Jerry finally paid the money where it needed to go. All right. So
Yeah.
Chabernet's right behind him, and then DK Metcalf, Jalen Hurts. But that and right there's Dak Prescott has scored a total of 56.2, and the next one below him is 55.7. So he's averaging 14 points a game. That's pretty good for anybody. So that's your fantasy side of it. So do you have any like sleepers out there? I know I threw out Jennings and Zach Vaughn. If you're an IDP, you definitely need to be playing him. He should be up there.
Well, I'm actually gonna do my. I'm gonna give you my weekly starts,
All right.
and I think you should really take advantage of this. You should actually really take advantage of this game.
All
But
right.
I would actually. You should really start, and I would honestly, I would try to trade for him too right now. But you really need to start Kyler Murray because I really think he's going to have a super explosive game this week since they're playing the Commanders and their pass defense is just god awful. It's just really awful. I think Kyler Murray's going to have an outstanding game. He could actually finish. Well, he's already the number 4 quarterback in fantasy right now, but I really think he could finish number 1 next week or this coming week. And then in the same game, with running back, I think he should. A lot of people were going to give up on him. I kind of was one of them, but then now I see that I was wrong, and I think everybody should start Austin Eckler on this game as well because man, he can still run. He can still run, and he proved it. He proved it last night. So definitely need to start him, and then my wide receiver, I really think you should start Chris Godwin. He's been he's been pretty good. He's been on a roll, and I can see him continuing that. And I really think you should start him, which you should be starting him no matter what. But you know, people will always have crazier ideas. So, but you should really definitely start him.
Yes, I agree. And to jump back on defense, this Zach Bond, while we ain't never heard of him before, he played for the Saints 4 years and hardly ever scored.
Hmm,
He's actually the backup on the Eagles behind Devin White on a right linebacker, inside linebacker.
really?
He's 4 years experience from Wisconsin. And since he has landed at the Eagles, and since he's been playing only, he's not even, he's playing just a little over 50% of the snaps. First game, he scored 42 points. This is in regular PPR. That's impressive. Then 16 the next game, and the next game, 22. This
Hmm.
guy is dominating. And I mean, I don't like if I click on Devin White right now, and I'm not trying to put him down. I love him as a defensive player. But even when he played at Tampa, he didn't put up points like that. This guy shouldn't be playing behind him. He should be playing in front of him. And I don't think you're going to see the change back unless it's pay. He's out. He's out for the season right now.
Right.
Uh, yeah, he won't be. He's inactive. Yeah, so Zach's. So yeah, I bet he's still out on a lot of people's waiver wires and IDPs if people haven't picked up on him. I'm gonna go look for him right now. See if they picked up on him our league. I don't
Well,
think.
good luck because I done did.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
You picked him up.
No, he was already gone way before we got him.
Oh, well, someone got smart ahead of us. Probably seen him on the first
I
game, scored
I
42.
I went and looked immediately once you said his name.
Yeah, I need to look at our league. I don't even know who would have got him. I mean, because I don't remember ever hearing anything about him.
Well, they
Let me
snatched him
see.
up.
Let's see if it's snatched up in this one league that you're not in. Just curious. I'm just curious. If he's not, I'm fixing to snatch him up. But oh, he's already snatched up. So he was picked up off the waiver wire. He wasn't even drafted. Okay. Let's see transactions. I want to see what transactions are. No, he was drafted, I think. I don't know. Yeah, he's gone in that league, so he's probably gone in every league.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
he's definitely picked up.
Yeah, there's a lot of defensive players that went out. Devin White's one of them. He was on a team I had. I have him on IR. Detroit's linebacker went out. What was his name? Azalone.
Oh yeah, the linebacker.
Yeah, he's out for the season. He played really good last season. So that's a little rough. All
Right.
right. So let's finish off the show since we covered out who we want to sit, who we want to start, and now I know what to do with Minshew. So if you guys got Minshew and someone offers you a third rounder, it's worth taking. Don't listen to
Oh,
the calculators because the calculators are telling you not to take him for a third round. But Austin does have some reasoning behind this, and I kind of like his thought because honestly, I think he's a wash after this season. Uh,
definitely.
so if I can cash in on him now, I guess it's the time I cash in on him, and maybe I'm passing up a chance and an opportunity to let him go. So I will try to let him go. I was trying to get a good defensive player. I was trying to rip someone off, and then I realized that that person was smarter. I wanted Jarrett Verse for him,
Yeah.
and they laughed at me.
I mean, I would have too.
Then they offered me like the worst linebacker that's out there right now. Uh, so, like, wow. I think they even picked that linebacker up off the waiver wire just to trade him to me. It's like, why would you do that? Uh, so,
Probably.
so let's now. You guys wonder what I'm doing. I got to pull up the app for the pick'em for college because we got to talk about some college. I am a Leva. I think I'm saying his name right. Nico Amaleva. I am Aleva.
You might want to
Quarterback
work
for
on that a
10.
little bit.
I'm working on it. I've been listening to it. I think I'm pretty close. That Tennessee quarterback. Oh my. Oh my. What a guy. Uh, we're going to talk about him in our later episodes if he keeps ticking like he's ticking.
Yeah.
If he's not under your radar now, then you're not watching college football and you need to tune in really quick. Uh,
Right.
don't get behind the eight ball. Let's see here. And I still can't find my app. Why? Because I got 30 different apps on my phone and they all look alike to me when I have no glasses on. And you said, well, why don't you wear your glasses? I don't know. I just don't like to wear them.
There's
Games.
nothing to be ashamed.
No. Right now I'm at 89 percentile picking correctly. All right. So week 5, right? This is week 5 for college, right? Yeah, week
Yep.
5 for college. Week 4 for NFL, week 5 for college. And me and Austin's juggled some things around because after we looked at bye weeks and how many times teams play, we're moving our college special out a little bit to kind of get a better um one. I want to have a nice clean list for you guys to showing you who the top scorers is. And then plus we're going to give you a little bit of highlights of our top prospects. And it might be a two-part series. It might not just be one because there's a lot to cover in college because then you're getting closer to the draft. And then you got to also talk about the players that can't go for the draft and who's going for the draft. You got to understand all that because there is rules and regulations. Like you're a freshman, you're not going to be able to leave college and go for the draft. You're a sophomore, you're not going to get to leave college and go for the draft. And I think you have to be a junior. Is that not correct? A junior?
Yeah, it's a junior.
You have to be a junior to be
Unless
eligible.
unless they've been redshirted or have done had 3 years of eligibility done used in a college.
Right. So, with that being said, we're going to start off with the first game. Them Cowboys, Oklahoma State Cowboys, not Dallas Cowboys. Let's get this right. We're in the state of Oklahoma against the Kansas State Wildcats, both 3-1. Uh, one's ranked 20, Oklahoma State Cowboys, and then Kansas State Wildcats are ranked 23. I've watched both teams play this year, different games, probably not the best of their games. And I'm going to tell you, they're both for the Big 12, they're doing good. Uh,
I went with Oklahoma State.
I was actually going against Oklahoma State. I am picking Kansas City State
Because
Wildcats. Oh, well,
even though they lost the last game, they still put up a big fight, and I think they can carry that through the next week.
I think Kansas City is going to come out there. Kansas City. Ooh, the Chiefs. See, the Chiefs have not just manipulated the referees; they have got into Ralph's head. Uh,
Yes,
I see Mahomes and Kelsey and
and they're one of the Swifties.
yeah. All right, the next game, BYU Brigham Young Cougars versus Baylor Bears. I'm going to go with BYU all day long. 22. They're 4-0. Baylor Bears slipped up this last week, lost to Colorado, didn't they? Uh,
Yeah,
it was a kind of a slip up. It wasn't really meant to happen, but it happened. And at the end of the day, any given Saturday, you can get beat. I don't care who you are. You could be undefeated Georgia. You could be the undefeated Ohio State. You could be the undefeated Alabama. In college football, even in the NFL, well, in the NFL, it's any given Sunday, Thursday, or Monday. Most of the time, it's any given Saturday, they used to say, but now you can include Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes occasionally on Mondays and Sundays. I'm just like, why? But I love it, so I'm not complaining. Uh, uh, Notre Dame versus against Louisville. Oh, wait, I forgot to ask you. Who did you pick? BYU or Bears? I'm sorry.
I went BYU.
BYU. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's talk about them Cardinals. And I had talked about them in our uh, when we did our way out video earlier in the summer on college. I think they're one of the teams that are going to finalize next to Syracuse on the ACC. That's Louisville against Notre Dame. I honestly think Louisville will give Notre Dame their second loss. I am going to go with Louisville Cardinals over Notre Dame.
Hmm. I I don't know. I just have this funny feeling. I think Notre Dame's going to pull this one out.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So everybody gave Arkansas a hard time because they're a loss, but they're 3-1. So we're beating them up on a loss. It's like beating Notre Dame up on their loss to Northern Illinois. Uh,
Well,
or let's even say Texas
you
A&M to Notre Dame. I mean,
you can beat up Notre Dame pretty bad about losing to Northern Illinois.
okay, I can. Okay. I just want to get permission before I did it.
You have permission.
Well, that was horrifying. No, I'm just kidding. Texas A&M against the Razorbacks. I don't think Texas A&M should be even ranked, but whatever. They're ranked 24. Go Texas A&M. But I honestly think Texas A&M going to win that game. I think they're going to beat Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, I
What do
went
you
with
think?
Texas A&M.
All right.
I went with them as well.
Liberty Flames against Appalachian State Mountaineers. I just have a feeling Liberty's going to go undefeated this year for non-Power 5, so I am picking Liberty over
Yeah,
Appalachian.
Liberty's pretty good, so I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
them as well.
So Fresno State Bulldogs over UNLV Rebels. That is tough. And I am going to go with Fresno State Bulldogs because I think that's the only Bulldogs that are going to win this weekend. How about that? You know what I'm talking about, but I don't want you to know until we get there. So there we go. I said it. I said it. I said it. All right.
I went with Fresno State as well.
Okay. You probably don't even know what I was talking about yet, do you? No, I'm just kidding. I know you do because you.
Yeah, I already know where you're going with this.
All right. Oklahoma Sooners against Auburn Tigers. I'm sorry, Tigers. I had a lot of friends that are Auburn fans, War Eagle. Uh, but at the end of the day, for this episode, I think the Sooners are going to come back for revenge because Tennessee slapped them so hard they have to have some kind of redeem themselves in the SEC, and this is their chance. So Oklahoma Sooners, they're going to take it out. This is the only chance they have to redeem themselves in the SEC. If they lose to Auburn, they have lost every. Not that Auburn's that bad. Auburn's not that bad. I'm just saying They got
Um,
to win against the SEC team, and that's your SEC team you got to win against. Okay, you don't
look,
have to joke over there
I
about me
under
saying
I
Auburn's
un-
not that bad.
I understand you have friends at work that are Auburn fans because I also have on occasion have the same friends that are Auburn fans, but let's just be real about this. Let's just be real. I mean, it's not good.
Not good. All right. So next game, North Carolina Tar Heels against Duke Blue Devils. And yes, Duke is undefeated. Just wanted to make sure the walls weren't falling in on me. I don't know what to say about this. Uh, yeah. Ugh. Um, you know, I,
I'm gonna have to go with Duke due to the
I
fact that
am too.
North Carolina got their butt whipped by 70 points by James Madison.
I'm not saying nothing.
And
I think it should be talked about. I think it was an accidentally
I
slip up. You know how you're in the shower, you drop the soap on
accidentally
someone behind?
slip up.
Yeah.
James Madison basically bent them over and gave them a spanking for being a naughty
You
Tar
sure it was a
Heel.
spanking or was it more? I think it was more than a spanking. I'm not even gonna say what they did to him. I think it was a
Well,
little too much for us to talk about.
either
This
way,
is this is
it's
a
gonna
rated
take
G show.
it's gonna take years of therapy for them to get over this.
All right. Now this is a matchup we've been waiting for, the drum beat. It's a terrible drum beat, I know, but I'm gonna give it all I got. Wait until I get a sound machine and I start doing crickets and drum beats and all this other stuff. It's coming real soon. Uh it's like in the new episode. Ralph's got a sound machine. Listen to him squeal. It's like I sit up all night recording myself doing things. Uh Alabama versus Georgia Bulldogs. And as I said earlier, the only Bulldogs you're gonna see winning this weekend is Fresno State because it ain't Georgia. I am road tide on this baby.
uh, I think I'm going with Georgia still.
Oh my God, you're oh no, don't all right. I'm not gonna say nothing else to the fans out there that's watching this show. Um, I would just say one thing only, that sometimes people make mistakes in life, and this is one of them. Just watch closely. But
Yes.
Alabama's gonna win. All right, so let's
Yes,
move
listen
on.
to Ralph's opinions and you'll understand. And look, just I get it. You have Alabama friends that we work with too that watch this show. I get it. But let's quit being the goody two shoes and let's just call it how it is.
No, I honestly think Alabama will upset Georgia due to the struggles that Georgia's currently having and the players that Georgia does not have.
Yes,
I
but every
honestly think at the end of the season, it could probably swap. And I honestly think these two teams are going to meet up again unless
yes,
Tennessee runs the table.
but every time Georgia has a bad game against somebody, they always come back and just flat out just dominate. So it'll basically be Alabama's offense versus Georgia's defense.
Where are they playing at? Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going Alabama. All right. So the next one is Washington State Cougars and Boise State Broncos. Okay, I was really thinking Boise State was going to run the tables and they had a little slip up. They fell apart. I think Washington State Cougars will pull this win off. I think they're going to stay undefeated. They're going to run the entire Mountain West they play. They are a Power Five team. They have always been a Power Five team. They're not that bad of a team. They just decided they weren't going to jump ship and go to the Big Ten and take that money. And Big Ten didn't offer it to them either, so they had to stay where they had to stay. Now they're going to create their own little conference. Them, and the Oregon State. We already see that coming. They need two more teams, and then two teams are in negotiation. And the NCAA has already done pretty much left them as Power Five, so they're not going to lose that status. And Oregon State and Washington State's doing their thing, and I think, yeah, Boise State's a good team, but Washington State's a good team, and I think Washington State's going to do their business. They're going to win the game, and that's how it's going to be. Um, what do you think?
I got Boise State winning.
Okay, and that's going to be on FS1, so I will definitely be watching that. big FSN one. I got that, and well, I don't know. I mean, depends on the time. I mean, because I know I'll be tuned into the Alabama game.
It's
Let's see, the
not.
Alabama game.
It's at
Uh,
9 o'clock.
oh, that's the 9 p.m. game. Yeah, that'll be definitely the 9 p.m. That's the game I'll have on. Why Austin whoops. Well, let me rephrase this because I almost went too vulgar with this. Let me put this in polite rated G mode. Me and Austin will be playing polite games on college football that will be streaming on Twitch channel, which we need to drop down your Twitch channel because you do a better job on Twitch than I do. I still need some work. Um, and you can watch me either get obliterated or I actually kind of redeem myself and have a little bit of respect and walk away with a win.
Well, I
Right now,
mean,
my record is 0-4. Now, to Austin's defense, he offered me many times to play a home game, and I sit there, oh, you're a non-power five team. I don't want to hurt you like that. And I even was winning the game. And then in the final quarter, what does Ralph do? Like Ralph always does. This is why Ralph wasn't a quarterback in the NFL or in college. I threw the ball twice to him. No, not at his side of the field. No, on my side of the field at the 5 yard line, so he could just step over to get a touchdown. I mean, not like two turnovers. I had what, 7 in one and 9 in the other? I mean, come on, guys. There's such a thing. If I was playing in the NFL, I'd be under Will Levis category, okay? I don't even think
yeah.
I'd be Will Levis. I'd be Jamin Winston. I'd be a backup of a backup of a backup because I couldn't control myself on the ball. But that's another story.
And I don't know. I don't know if I should say this or not, but I also started with the worst rated conference
I looked
in
that
the
up.
country right now.
I looked that up. But then again, I'm not gonna no, let me not go there because when I went through the rest of their ratings, I about punched the screen when I got to the top because I was like, these people don't know football. And I'm gonna go ahead and just say that Austin probably had the right ratings. So you're a good man. Yeah, Austin did
Yeah.
start with the worst, the worst. So we're 0-4. I play with Ohio State. He is gonna play with every team on college against me. Right now, I have literally embarrassed Ohio State. I did very well on putting up yards, but I'm turning over the ball and I'm not playing very well. But I think if
I
I
have a video on my Twitch if anyone would like to watch that,
yeah,
by the
there's
way.
there's already the first episode there. You can sit there and watch it. And I'm gonna get his Twitch and type it in and have it displayed in the screen so you guys can see it below next to the X channel. So you can go to either one and enjoy viewing this horrifying
And the fourth
display of
and okay, and I'll go ahead and say the first episode was actually just 3 games because the first game was basically like a warm up.
yeah, and it was horrifying, so you don't need to
Yeah,
watch it anyways.
I played with Kensaw State.
All right, so we got to come up with a total score for Georgia and Alabama. This is going to be low.
I
I
had
am going to
41.
41. I don't think it's even going to be that high. I'll say 32.
I can
Maybe
see
not.
that.
Huh?
I said I can kind of see that, but I think both of their offenses are going to get it going in a little bit of a capacity.
Yeah. All right, that's our pick'ems for college. Um, I'm 21-19. Uh, Going into week 5, doing a lot better in college than I'm doing in the NFL. NFL, I'm picking the right teams. The problem is I'm not getting the point spread. So I wish I did the one without the point spread. I'd probably be a lot better ranked.
You will be because I am better ranked on the one without the point spread than I am with the point spread.
Yeah, I'm not a gambler when it comes to point spreads and stuff, and I know that's how people do it, and that's the thing. Everybody does these pick'ems and they do this point spread, and we try to get that information. If you have a gambling problem, I think the number is 1-800-GAMBLER. And then also you can catch my Cash App if you need to just donate money because you just want to throw money away. Donate
Well,
it to me and my family.
yeah, I mean, you could do the same thing towards me. I got a baby on the
I'm
way.
not going to display your Cash App because then it'll take away from my funds. Um,
Hey, hey, now we can share.
we'll share. We'll always share. That's how we do things. You and me share. All right. So that covers our pick'ems. I'm excited because as football goes on, watching this scale. Each week I'll do these little ratings showing you guys. And the ratings that I'm giving you are only points scored in PPR. This is not opinions because if you go by opinions, and I'm gonna slide this over just a little real quick. Okay, so like if you bring up the ratings, they have Baker Mayfield and overall. Let me readjust the screen right here. I got it a little messed up. You guys probably have no clue what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about, and I can't stand it. All right, so let me do this right here. Slide this over. So Baker Mayfield is ranked 118 overall by the professionals, but in total scoring this year, he is ranked 16. Kyle Murray is ranked 60, but overall, he is ranked. He's ranked 17 in scoring, but overall, he's ranked 60. So Barkley was ranked number 2 overall among all NFL players for offensive side, not defensive, and he's number 1. Lamar Jackson was ranked 33, and he's ranked 5th in scoring. Josh Allen is 43, and he's ranked 3. Or no, I had that backwards. 5th for Lamar, 3rd. But you know where I'm going. So the number 2 guy was ranked 13. So rankings, when people rank things, they're ranking their overall, and they're weighting it with what they call an average draft position. And like Austin will say, drafting's over. So what does that matter? It is just how they do this stuff in fantasy football. ADP is everything. Opinions are everything. And what we're showing you is the top scores so far up to this week. And that's what we're displaying. And this is going to change. At the end of the season, that top 5 you're looking at might not be the same top 5 we're looking at this week. And I'm saving each week so we can always go back and look at how much it changed and how far they dropped and how much they went up. And I can tell you right now, these are 3 players that will always be in the top 10 at the end of the season. And that is Barkley, Josh Allen, and my 3rd player I'm going to pick is Aiden Hutchinson because I want to throw a defensive player in there. Who do you think will stay in there as top 3 in top 520? I mean,
Kyler
top 20.
Murray.
Kyle Murray, I could go with that.
Definitely Kyler Murray.
Yep.
I will give you well, in all, I think they picked it back up, but I can honestly start seeing Jamar Chase being in there now. I know he hasn't been lately, but after
I see
last
him.
night's game, I think the Bengals are finally starting to click. So I
Yeah.
can definitely see him. And running backs are just kind of hard though. Besides, your typical, how Saquon's doing right now, because running backs, they're kind of in a rough patch right now, especially with some of them being hurt. And I don't want to say Derrick Henry either, due to the fact that, even though he had an amazing game, we don't really know if that's going to be consistent with the Ravens because, yes, they did just now figure out, hey, we should probably do this with him, but, you know, he might go up against a defense that's really good at stopping the run. Then what do they do then?
Right.
Now,
Yes.
I would say another one would be Rasheed Rice.
Yes, I believe he'll stay in the top 20.
I
And really,
definitely
the only way a running back will stay in the top 20 is if they stay healthy.
Zaire Franklin.
Zaire Franklin, he's not made
Yeah.
it up there, but I see him maybe probably
Well,
working his way up there. It's early in the
well,
season.
I
It's only week 3.
I see him right now. I got him as a uh linebacker, as the ninth linebacker, but I'm also looking on sleeper too. And then they got him ranked as the overall ninth linebacker. But your website's probably pretty good too. So either way, because I mean he's been consistent. He's scored 21 points, and now obviously this is at our leagues we got bonuses, so it's going to be a bit different. But He's got 21 weeks, then 20. He's got 21 points, 28.5 points. Then he had a 35.5 point game. That's really consistent.
Right.
But I really do think he would be a candidate.
Yeah, he's third overall scorer right now as a linebacker. And,
Right.
and he's only sitting. So on our total score right now for PPR, he is not that far from the top 20. He's just right underneath it. He's 56. So he'd be right. Yeah, he's just slightly. Well, see, I'm looking at the bonus league. So now I need to look at the regular PPR league. That's the problem. When I get out of my PPR league and I go to these bonus leagues, it throws it off just slightly, but not much. Let me go right here. Let me see real quick to give a true estimate because I honestly agree with you. I see him uh climbing up. That's projection. We need stat that we need for the season, not for week one. And he is showing 51. 51 is right there below in the 30s. So he's in the 30s right now. So he could work his way
That
up back.
that is crazy though.
Well, you got to think about it. I got the offense and defense in here for him to be in the 30s.
Oh, okay. Well,
This is offense and defense. I mean, he's up there. There's not many defensive players like Brian Branch is 37. Eric Kendricks from Dallas is 36. He's tied with Stephon Diggs for score. I mean, let's see here. J.K. Dobbins. I got Andrew Van Ginkel. Did I say that right? Ginkel from Minnesota.
yeah.
He's up there. Fred Warner. He's up there. So what I wanted people to understand is because we are an IDP show too. I wanted people to understand the whole gist of it. I don't want to separate the two. Everybody separates them. What you need to know is who are the top scorers? Who are your tier one scorers? Who are your best? And put them all in that category and see offense to defense, like who is comparison side by side. And it's interesting to see that because there's players you would never realize because like Fred Warner, he's ranked fourth. Fourth is pretty good. that's that's a DL. But he is like top notch on scoring in fantasy. He's already scored 52 points. He's slightly above a linebacker, Franklin. So I mean, it's neat to
Who'd you say?
Fred Warren from San
Fred
Francisco.
Warner. He's a linebacker.
Oh yeah, he is a linebacker. Well, he's listed linebacker DL.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. He's dual position for me. That's the problem when I'm fantasy live.
But they mostly have him in linebacker.
Yeah, they do, and he's good to play. Van
Oh, yeah.
Noy, he's out. He got hurt, but he's back. Jacksonville, questionable. Oakland. Yeah, so it could change up at the end of the season. If you guys like what you're watching, please hit the like button. That helps our show out. It makes us grow. Subscribe, share us. Sharing, like Austin always says, sharing is caring. Share us with your friends. Let your friends get introduced to the Dynasty football maniacs, the craziness that we're just throwing out at you, and enjoy it. I mean, I hope we're giving you guys the best entertainment possible. I know some of our analogies are a little bit off the wall, but they're fun. And that's what you got to have is fun. And don't always think the experts are correct. They're not. They get it wrong too. Hey, we get it wrong.
Yeah, but we're
Nobody's
not
perfect.
experts.
We're not experts, so we're allowed to make mistakes. We could trip and
Right.
fall all day, and it's fine. But what I want you guys to understand is I'm all about the stats, and I know ADP matters, and I understand there's got to be a weight to that, but I'm still trying to come up with my own mathematician thing of how we should rate players. But what I want you guys to see is the points, the scoring, and understand, hey, this is who's leading right now. And if you have them, you should be playing them. And if you don't have them, you need to go out and get them. And then this is who's consistent because I'm also giving you the average score. And we might even start dropping this on our X page so you guys can see these scoring things we're putting together. It's defense and offense together.
Right.
So if you like, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And what do you always say?
Make sure you share because sharing is caring.
That's right. All right.